He and I were drinking.
But,
I told you we should bring the microphones and the whole setup out there. I tried to tell you.
We were drinking and depressed together.
Oh, yeah, because he was a 5.5 also, wasn't he?
No,
He was 25.
He was just a 5.
Oh.
He was just
You were
It was
drinking-
just a 5.
You were drinking and
Just a
depressed with Bernard.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he
You
was,
were a 25.
believe it or not, he was actually trying to lift me up.
Oh,
Tom
really?
says, Tom, this was a very good class. It was a very good class. There's nothing to be embarrassed about with the 25 and a half.
Yeah.
We did good. It's very good. I'm like,
Did he follow it
I
up?
don't feel that way.
Did he follow
Shut up, Bernard!
Did he possibly follow it up with, at least you didn't mark 18?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No, he didn't say that because that would be bad. Oh,
Yeah.
you marked an 18.
Yeah.
My bad. I thought you were a 22.
No, it's only an 18.
No, it was
Yeah,
only-
it wasn't that good.
And the funny thing
I
is
watched it.
I tried bowling for a few days. I was going to be a bowler, but that's hard.
I think you
Yeah.
put that on Facebook.
Yeah.
Some people,
Boy, now you,
some
after,
people tried to talk me out of it, but I still explored the idea of it. And
just didn't work.
no, you know, I'm not into the shirt.
Said he couldn't handle the heavy balls.
Couldn't handle the balls.
Jesus, dude.
It was really fingering the balls. Like, my
Yeah.
fingers aren't strong enough.
Good.
You gotta have stout fingers.
Anyway,
Okay.
Anyway.
are we ready to start?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's.
Nothing like getting loosened up by talking
Yeah.
about fingering balls.
Yeah. Sorry, Sarah. This is kind of how we roll.
You gotta have an exercise to get the blood
Yeah.
pumping and get it
It's like how
flowing.
a singer does when they go
Yeah.
through the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't sing either.
Anyway, all right. Well, we're back for another episode. We have, as always, Gunny Matheson, Joe Schmidt, and tonight our special guest, Run for a Million qualifier, Cira Baeck.
Hello, nice to be here.
Yeah.
Glad
you're
Welcome.
having
Welcome.
me.
Thanks for coming.
I thought that pause was you were pausing about how to say her name just right because we debated how exactly we're supposed to say her name.
No, I didn't debate.
Yeah,
Joe
I know.
didn't
Me and
debate.
Joe were worried
No.
about it before
No.
you showed up.
No, Chelsea was.
Chelsea
said it
our
wrong.
boss was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we all had it. We're worldly. We
I've known
know.
how to say her name for
Forever.
15 years.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want
It's not hard.
No, it's pretty easy.
IRA. Yeah, it's easy. Syrup.
Cira.
Cira.
Cira Baeck.
Fuck.
Back.
Yeah, maybe I said the last name wrong. I said Beck. It's
It's actually it's back. Yeah.
Back.
Back. Oh, I don't
Back.
know. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's hard.
all right.
No,
Well,
it's not hard.
well, from here on in this show, you're just gonna be Sarah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Because that's easy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
easy enough.
Pretty cool news about what they did for you about letting you go to the Run for the Million, huh?
Yeah, that was really a surprise, really amazing. Was super happy about that. Actually, I didn't really even ask. It was right away very clear. Whenever Taylor Sheridan heard the news, he was like, but she'll get the spot next year. So it was never even a question. So it was super nice, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
One thing I know from doing a lot of stuff with Taylor over the years is he's super fair and super loyal to his people, and I think he's just a good guy.
Well,
you know?
and that show needs you. I mean, you're awesome at this. You're really awesome at this. That show needs her.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah.
to have you on the show is nothing but an asset to the reining community.
And 3 girls on the show this year.
3
I
girls.
think that's great.
Super excited.
Yeah.
Super nice.
Yeah, I saw a Facebook post. Somebody was complaining again, of course, about Mandy. About, we posted on there, said she qualified, and they said, and really, she should still be a non-pro then. Okay, the one that won the whole thing was a non-pro.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a
was-
different world, and there's.
Yeah.
I think the non-pro runs different. Of course, it's a different class, and it's just. But a lot of times, the very top runs in the non-pro of any finals would be competitive in the open finals.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean,
because it's the same horse.
Yeah,
Dang near.
basically anymore. I mean, there was years ago when somebody could steal a non-pro finals with a 216, but not anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you have experience with it. You were a very competitive, top of the game non-pro, and went right into the open, no problem. from the outside looking
Yeah.
in, maybe you had a lot of problems for all I know. But
No, it was, I kind of eased in like smoothly. I did 1 year, I think, where I did like both, which made that I'm now for the first time in my life level 3 this year. Because when I made the transition, I had already won too much in the Open that year that I had to go from level 4 non-pro to level 4 Open. So yeah, it was a easy enough transition.
So let's go back. You grew up in Belgium.
Yeah.
And you, what was the name of your ranch?
Eiffel Gold Ranch.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I say so many things in this show that are wrong. and Chelsea doesn't cut them out, so she just leaves them in and makes me look stupid.
she leaves all my stupid stuff.
Yeah.
So now I
Easy
just
to
let,
make both of
it's
you
just
look
better
stupid.
than me making a mistake. I'm just gonna,
But really, she leaves all my stuff in, and all my stuff is stupid. So
Yeah.
and that's fair. But anyway, so that's, I mean, I remember seeing the ads on that, and that was a very nice place, huh? Big
Yeah,
fancy place you
yeah.
guys grew up with.
Yeah, it's a really nice place. I love it there. I was back there last summer, and it's super nice and it has everything. It's just in the wrong country. I mean, our country is all about jumping horses. If I would be Carly, she would take my ranch actually. Right. She would be in the place to be. It's like pilot point for reining. It's Belgium for and jumping. And so yeah, I always felt that I want to do more than that, so that's why I came here. Actually.
What made you get into when you had so much access to the jumping horses? What made you go towards the reiners?
I did jumping and reining 2 years together, like I did it both, and I really love jumping, and I know for a fact that when I would not do reining, I would definitely do jumping, but those horses drove me crazy all the time. They're so annoying. And then when really the quarter horse made me change the discipline, it was not so much because I love to jump, and the jumpers that I had were also really nice when you're on, and when you jump, they're nice. But they were just so frustrating, annoying. If
just
you're
like on the ground.
Yeah. They cannot stand still. They run you over.
They're huge, so they just take you out.
They see you fly and they spook and they jump 5 meters in the air. They're just super annoying. And then when I had the quarter horse, you can just tie them, leave them, come back after an hour. They didn't eat your saddle. They didn't break anything. And they're like, oh my God, they didn't make a hole in the ground. So it was really the quarter horse that made me change. And I thought, wow, we go put them all in the trailer, nobody is making a sound. The jumpers, they were always all over the place. Huh. For me, they were super annoying.
This episode is sponsored by AQHA.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Send us money now.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I didn't really know reining actually, because then I started I had a quarter horse, which obviously you had to ride with the Western saddle, but that was about it. And then I did like pleasure and hunter, which I needed my English saddle for, and horsemanship and all that stuff. And later on I found out about reining, but first it was just a quarter horse that really.
And did you teach yourself, or did you ride with somebody?
Well, my parents were definitely a bit crazy, and fate also a bit, I guess. We had friends in Florida, and they lived close by Ocala, and we stopped at the gas station, and there was this Paint Horse journal, sponsored by Paint Horse. And Tragedians was on the cover with Bill Horn, and they said, with the sliding on the cover, and my dad took the book and he brought it to the car when my mom and me were in the car, and he said, look, they have this quarter horse Paint Horse thing here, and this guy, he looks pretty good, he lives not far from here, let's check it out. And we're like, okay, so that's how we end up with Bill Horn, which is like super random.
It's pretty good.
Wow. What year was that?
I was like 14, I guess.
You don't have to age yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
14.
I'm 39 now.
Yeah.
You do the math. So then we just
It was
stopped.
in '95 then.
And my parents just said to BH and Kim, yeah, we have a daughter and she likes to ride. I can just imagine what BH was thinking then, like, oh my god, another stupid girl from Europe. And so he let me ride actually, and I will never forget, I stepped on the horse, on the concrete in front of the stall where everybody stepped on, but I didn't know reining, so I just put my neck rein on, and that horse starts turning like crazy
On the concrete.
And I'm like, oh my god, how do I stop this thing? I was like shocked, and yeah, it was really bad.
And then you were hooked right then.
I was hooked right away, but it was kind of a mess the first couple times. BH horses were just so sensitive. You couldn't cough, it would stand still. You couldn't move, it would fly. It breaks, gas, everything was just so soft. So it was kind of embarrassing actually.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
I
really
like
it. So then you went back and you're 14-ish.
Yeah,
So then you went back to Belgium, and did you train your own or did you ride with somebody over there?
No, then I think I went back to Bilhorn like 3 or 4 times a year, a couple weeks. And the time afterwards, we bought Little Gump, our first reiner. And then BH always, he said to my parents, like, this is a really good horse. Let her ride it. Don't put it somewhere in training. Just let her deal with it, and she will learn so much from it. And then I just did like clinics, and I went to Del Hendricks at that time. Came a couple times to Holland, and so I did just a lot of clinics. But the rest I basically did teach myself, and then I came over a lot of times here.
Right, always to BH?
Yeah, in the beginning, yes. I think I did this original gold clinic.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That was fun also.
And that was Craig Johnson, Bill Horn, my brother Scott,
Yeah.
and
Dell.
And
Del.
Del. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That clinic, we did some clinics and stuff, but in the beginning it was only Bill actually.
Hmm.
Yeah, only BH.
That's why you like to go fast.
Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah. I at first when I was riding with BH, he didn't talk at all. Like I rode one time, that disaster time, and then we just left and went to our friends. Then we asked if I could come again for 3 weeks, and the first week he didn't talk to me at all. Just like ride that one, and I was thinking, oh my god, this guy hates me. He really doesn't like me. And I was already to my mom saying like, I don't want to go back there. And she was like, well, we said we're gonna stay 3 weeks, so we're staying 3 weeks. So every morning I was thinking like, oh my god. And then one morning I came, and BH was in the gator making with caulk white dots in the grass, because in Ocala they didn't have a arena. They just had grass and a racetrack where you had to stop. Like on one side there was like a stopping place, and then I was like, what's he doing? And then in the grass he made all dots for me to teach me how to make a round circle. and yeah, since that day it was like the ice was broken, and he told me everything, was talking the whole day and just helping me. And yeah, it was really an amazing time after.
It only took a couple weeks, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took
Jeez.
3 years for Tom to talk to me.
Yeah.
And the few years before that, he talked to me a little bit, but it was kind of the F word, and maybe how dumb are you? And
Just profanity.
yes, it was just profanity laced ass chewings.
Wow, that's cool. That's a good story. I didn't
Yeah,
know. I didn't
that
know it
is-
started with them.
And you know what? What's
Oops.
Jesus
We're not
Christ.
supposed to touch the mic, and I really haven't drank that much. And yeah, hey.
great job, Gunny.
Gunny.
were talking about BH and riding with BH, and I think it's there's so many new young people in our industry right now, and from Europe and Brazil, and that have no idea who BH was.
Don't even know.
And it's a shame because
it
BH was
awesome.
he was a legend, is a legend. And for those of us that got to be, all of us that got to be around him some, and I never knew him well, but watched him for a very long time.
Yeah.
And BH wasn't probably the easiest guy to get to know really well if you weren't in his camp, but to watch him was pretty amazing. And the younger crew right now, that it's like anything, BH, who? They don't even know who he was.
That's a shame. Yeah.
And he was a special guy in our industry for sure.
Well, his style was so different.
Very different.
What always what I admire in him is the when I was there, he was already getting older, like he was in the older age, but the motivation that he had still, like every morning he was like drinking his coffee and thinking about what he was gonna train about, and how he trained the horses. It's so, like, he did nothing, and by the end of the week the horse knew it. It was so much talent. But I think that the fire he had in his eyes still at those last years, that I thought, oh my god, if I'm ever gonna be like late 60s, early 70s, and you still have that drive to go out there and still are so patient with the horses and the timing, it's just amazing. This guy.
And he's
I still remember the last time he made the finals of the Futurity, and the crowd was going bananas. It was awesome. I still get goosebumps just thinking about it.
Yeah, no doubt. And he was from that older, like, his style of training was getting into a horse's mind and not just dominating a horse. It was about the whole process. It was about thinking about exactly, communication with a horse, and not just dominating a horse.
That's why he could train a horse in such a short time, because I remember one time I was training in the summer holidays, which is like July, August, and here comes this paint horse, daughter of Tragedias. She had hair sticking out of her ears like this long. She had no shoes. You could barely hold her because she was freaking out from everything. And he rode her, and she could do nothing. She was in some kind of cutting training program before. She never had sliders on. And he rode her like 3 days, and he said, oh my god, Cira, on this horse I'm gonna make the Futurity finals. And I look at him and say, BH, it's July. I say, how are you gonna do that? You'll see when you come back in October, because I always came then in the next holidays are in October in Europe. And you'll see in October, and in fact he made the finals, and that horse couldn't do anything in July, like a 2-year-old, but the crazy 2-year-olds here, they know everything, like nothing. You could steer that one, and you would not fall off when you go out on the field. And he didn't have the arena, he just had grass and no fence, and
and
really amazing.
Awesome.
In July, nothing.
That's awesome.
And you've seen it through the years. We've all seen it. We've talked about it. In that day, there was probably 7 or 8 guys that were really good at this. Now, I mean, anybody that was just at the Cactus, crazy. I mean, I think a 222 was 45th. I mean, it was just stupid how many.
What was an 18? Sorry.
Unplug this microphone. I'm going home.
Sorry, dude.
Nice to meet you, but they insulted me one last time.
Sorry, dude.
You know what? I'm trying not to say the F word in front of her, but y'all tripping the trigger.
Sorry. Joe.
You know what? And I'm going to credit Joe. That's the first great thing he's ever said on this show. We've only done 46 episodes around.
That's fair. I'm gonna
Sorry.
agree. I'm gonna agree
My
with
bad.
that too.
My bad.
75 horses marked at 220 or higher.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
No,
so-
45. 75 marked at 220 or
Oh
higher.
my God. Yeah.
Out of the 100, so I was probably 95th.
Yeah.
If you want to answer, like if you want to answer, I was probably 95th. No, I'm not happy with it. I'm going to a horse show.
Yeah.
In
Right
30
after
minutes,
this.
I'm leaving to go to a
Yeah.
horse show to figure it out too.
Yeah. It's good. But yeah, to your point, yeah, it was a crazy show. I mean, those horses were bionic.
Crazy good. And now in the run next year, or in the run for $1 million this year, I'm trying to think of how many Europeans or South Americans, whatever.
Gennaro,
you,
Gina, Andrea.
Is that it?
There's got it. Martin Mulestetter.
Martin Mulestetter.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
Yep. Casey Hinton.
There's more. We just don't
Casey,
know.
Casey Hinton.
He's from Ohio.
Yeah, he's from Ohio.
Candyland or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Trembling.
Danny Tremblay.
Yeah, well, that doesn't count.
That doesn't really
Doesn't
count.
count. It's not Europe.
Well, he's from French Canadian. I guess
It's-
maybe
no,
It's a-
no, it's not Europe.
4.5.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah.
more French than they are Canadian, aren't they?
I don't know.
Parlez-vous
No.
français?
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's probably it.
now a lot
There's a
of
bunch of badass horse trainers. What you're
yeah, a
saying.
bunch of
Yes.
and the thing is, I think the diversity with 5 Europeans or South Americans, whatever, and 3 women, and I mean the diversity is incredible. I mean it's
Yeah.
really really good right now, and Casey Hinton is 60 something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean I think we just
Yeah.
got everybody
Yeah,
is
that's nice.
Kate is 22.
Yeah.
And Casey is 60 something too, maybe. I don't know how old Casey is,
Maybe
but
he's 59. Maybe
yeah, I don't think so. I don't think
You
so.
never know.
But at any rate, I mean,
And,
it's
then,
just
and
such
like
a
this
diverse.
is, you got 2 non-pros this year. Last year you only had
Yeah.
1, right?
Yep,
So yeah, that's kind of cool.
yep,
Yeah,
super
That's
cool.
super nice.
So I mean, and it's going to be incredible. And you just moved here from Italy. You
Yeah.
were working in Italy, and you moved here. Were you living in Italy?
Yeah, I lived there 3 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now you're in Whitesboro.
Technically Gainesville.
Lake Kyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It
Okay.
says Gainesville on there.
It's a little different than Italy.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Yeah. I really have to say that I really loved living in Italy. It was really nice. I really liked the weather, the food. Really.
Yeah, how's the
Yeah.
food?
The food
How's
is-
the food in
Food in Gainesville. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to cook.
Yeah.
No, the food in Italy is amazing. There's no comparison, and I really loved to live there. But I have to say that the ranch from Chloe and George is so pretty. It has everything that a trainer's heart desires. It's a huge arena. The atmosphere is so nice, so chill. Everybody is just relaxed, and horses are happy. Stalls are great, big, high ceiling. We have a lot of turnout.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it's really really nice.
Well, I also lived 3 years in Italy, and everything about training horses is better here, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Everything about quality of life is better there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so great. The food is great, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, just
Yeah.
everything. And you were down by Rome,
yeah, yeah.
which I've only been 1 or 2 times, but it's just the history, and it's
Yeah,
super cool
Yeah,
living there.
it's super cool. I agree. I think to live there it's really nice, but yeah, I love this sport. I love these horses, and I think this is the place to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt. There's
Well,
no
and
doubt.
we're finding that out more now than ever because Gennaro moved over, Mirko
Mirko.
moved over, and now you've moved over. Like, just recently, a lot of Europeans have moved here.
And I'm
Yeah.
sure there's more.
There's more that I don't
Yeah.
know their name of, but I'm sure there's
Yeah.
a ton more.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, I actually don't know why everybody is moving now. Like,
Run for the million.
no, I don't know. I have absolutely no idea, actually.
Well, I've asked a couple of guys, and I won't name any names, but I've asked a couple of guys, and the response I've got
There's
is,
a couple of guys we know.
yeah, a couple of guys we know.
No, we don't.
we
We
just
don't
named-
know them.
We just named the 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's pretend it's not those guys.
Okay.
But it sounds like it's just hard to sell horses there. And there's a lot more. I don't know if this is true or not, but I've been told that it's trickier with restrictions on pre-purchases and responsibility for, like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I was told that if you had a horse pre-purchased there, if you sold a horse, you were responsible for 2 or 3 years if anything went wrong with that horse. And
it is in Germany, but it's only in Germany.
Only in Germany?
All the other countries, like in Belgium and in Italy, it's not like that.
Not like
in Germany, it's really crazy. And if we sell a horse, then yeah, maybe you have to make a contract that it goes through the Belgium law, which is, it's still hard to get a horse through the vet check, but if the vet check is good and they sign off on it, it's their horse. If it starts cribbing or weaving in a year, they cannot bring it back. But in Germany, technically, if they want, they could.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy. I don't know. I guess you're right. It's definitely harder to sell horses there, because the whole philosophy is a bit different. People buy a horse and they just stick to that horse for 10 years. So you don't need,
right.
you need so many horses. So many people buy one horse, but then it takes 10 years to buy the next one. So it's harder. For me personally, I came here because more reasons than one, but one of the reasons is because I like the atmosphere here better than the trainers, and at the shows it's more like a job, and we're all doing our best to be at our best when we go into that arena, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But
But if it doesn't work here, they put you in front of a Facebook show and make fun of you for being I mean, from my perspective.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. You get back to your
Sidetrack.
Yeah, sidetrack. No, because it's like everybody respect the fact that we all have to work hard to be good there. And in Europe, it's just so much jealousy. If you do good, it's not because you worked hard or that you went to schooling shows and you did your best to do everything right and it worked, so you're happy. No, it's because you're lucky because you have a good horse, or you have an owner that's rich, or you have a big truck. Like it's not because you did the job good and you worked hard for it. Right. And this I don't feel at the shows here. Everybody is, of course, everybody wants to be good, and everybody is competitive in the arena. But once it's over, and the people will say, good job, you had a nice run, good. And in Europe, they're too jealous to say that, and that is just really sad, because then you go to these horse shows and you feel really lonely because it's just you against all the others, because there's absolutely no nice atmosphere in my point of view.
It's funny you say that, because I'm sure all of us look forward to going to every horse show. Like now, most of our horse shows, we struggle the first 2 or 3 days because we're catching up with all of our friends. You know, that like you're tired from saying, "Hey, how you doing? Good to see you." You know.
Yeah.
So
it's and then also riding wise, I think like in Europe, the frustration that's put on these horses is also much higher than it is here. Like I had many discussions with people, because I came from Europe, and they say like, in Europe they are crazy with stewards, and we need more stewards, and they have so many. I say, yeah, but here don't need stewards, but we do, because these people get frustrated because it doesn't work, and then they put it out on the horse and it looks ugly, and they are also not smart about it. They will do it in front of people that just came to watch, or when we have some combined shows where you have dressage and jumping together, so there are a lot of jumpers or dressage riders watching us, and then they get all pissed because the horse doesn't listen. And and then they're just not smart about it neither. So I think that also is a reason for me to come. There are no horsemen. You need to be horseman first, and then you be a trainer. You cannot be a trainer without being a horseman. And in Europe, unfortunately for me, most of the people are just not horsemen there.
Yeah. And to that point, there's a lot of times here that we kind of all monitor each other as trainers.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not afraid to walk up, because, everybody has a frustration once in a while. And we're not afraid to walk up to somebody and say, hey, just take a break. Cool down for a little bit. And because it just happens. It doesn't matter if it's this or... I mean, I've been 100 times more frustrated on the golf course, as Gunny can tell you, and I throw my club and beat it into the ground, kick the ball into the water, and do all that stuff. People get frustrated when they do things, that they want to do well at. Yeah. And in our sport, there's unfortunately, sometimes they take that out on their horses or their livestock, but I don't really see it as a problem here, because there's always somebody around to walk by and say, hey, just take a break. I mean, I think we're fortunate that way, with everybody kind of looking out for each other and for the horses.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, when you get into that, you can ask help from 4 different guys and go, yeah, man, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
What can I do?
Yeah. And they will help you.
Somebody's gonna hey, try this, try that, whatever. Yeah, the camaraderie is always there.
But that's then the different atmosphere again that you need to have in order to feel confident to go up there and say, hey, maybe you should not do that. And I had many times in the last years that I was riding in the night, and that I really thought by myself, like, what am I doing here? I don't feel like I belong here.
Right.
And then when we came to Scottsdale last year, and we did the NRBC, those 2 shows, I was riding in the night, and I thought, nice, I don't have to get, because it makes me pissed when I see somebody really pissed at the horse, and I can tell that the horse is looking like, but what do you want from me? I have no clue. So then I get really mad. I want to just rip that person off the horse and smash him in the face. But then I cannot ride myself anymore, because I'm just not concentrated on me. I'm just concentrated on the person that is making me mad. So, and I didn't have that one time. And I was like, oh, this is so nice. I feel welcome.
You will.
I feel...
You will at least once.
Yeah.
I mean, because we all have. I mean, and we've all had that. But it's not probably as prevalent, for sure.
And Tom doesn't get mad about that. He really just gets mad at people that stand in the middle of the ring.
That's right.
So
don't.
It's frustrating.
Don't
it's
do
frustrating.
that.
Yeah.
Just who?
Hudson.
Dotson.
Toddy Waddy. He's going to be on the show next week. What about your adjustment that you, when you came to qualify for the Run for the Million and you showed at the NRBC? I know you had showed here before, but what about that transition whenever you put your pressure on yourself to be at the highest level? How was that transition for you?
You mean last year when I showed here?
Yes.
Apparently pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty easy for you, obviously, because you made the finals on both places.
Yeah, I was fortunate to have really nice horses that I could really trust, and actually I went in like, I'm just gonna do my thing and I will see where we end up.
Cool. You didn't even feel any pressure. You just kept to your guns.
The only thing that I remember from last year is that, well, obviously for the Run for the Million, I just went like it's final. But I found it very hard to ride at the NRBC and thinking, yeah, because I'm always that stupid person that doesn't want to give everything in the go round, because then I'm always like, I have nothing left. So I'm always like on the end of the go round, which is not nice because then you're always like, am I in or out, in or out? But for the NRBC, I just thought, I have no idea, so I'm just gonna go and like it's a final and we'll see.
And you have no choice here, and I think that's the transition from going to Europe to here.
Yeah, you
can't cruise in the go around. The go arounds most of the time are tougher than the finals.
Finals, yeah. So that was my plan then.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it worked.
it worked good.
Yeah.
So let's talk. You were out at Scottsdale.
Did you see me mark my 18? You're gonna hit twice. I'm not gonna ask these two.
No, I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
So what'd you think about it? I mean, it was. From my perspective, I mean, there was a lot of really good runs. I mean, it was.
Yeah, I was really happy I didn't have to show actually.
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, whew, I'm so happy I don't have that pressure right now. Yeah, there were really a lot of nice runs, a lot of amazing runs.
Nice horses.
Yeah.
And the
It was
schedule.
like finals all day long.
Yeah.
It was
This-
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Those horses were way more ready this year than they were last year.
Well, the schedule makes a difference.
Yeah.
Last year was tough.
Yeah,
I mean,
short,
it was
eh? Yeah.
You could ride from midnight till 6 in the morning, or 1 o'clock until 6 in the morning, and that was it. This year, there was. I know you schooled earlier in the morning. We schooled later at night. We'd schooled from like 10 to 2 in the evening, and it was by midnight. A lot of times there was only 5 of us in there,
Yeah.
and you could get the horses ready. Where last year, that wasn't the case.
No.
But they had more arenas and stuff rented out this year, right?
They had a longer horse show,
Yeah.
so a lot of the non-pro classes got done early,
Yeah.
and that made a big difference. And I think it would have been even better had it not rained. It rained, so they moved some of the outdoor classes inside, but that part worked good. I heard a lot of chatter out there about having it more centrally located. I don't know. Guys, for example, Sean qualified at the Million,
Matt
but
Palmer.
he went there last year. Matt Palmer said it took him 3 days to get there. I mean, are we taking some people away from it by having it? It's a very major event. I think it would be considered probably as special event as we have right now. And, would it be better more centrally located? Maybe. What do you guys think?
I don't know. You had, 100 and some odd horses
Yep.
show up for it. That's a pretty decent amount.
Yeah, you got 100 horses and 75 marked to 220 or higher.
Yeah.
So I bet they found the good ones. And
But from the East Coast, I think there was one.
yeah.
On the other side, also other people came all the way from Europe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
then
for sure.
I think
No excuses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Right.
That's a fair
I
statement.
mean, they came all the way from there. So I guess then coming from Ohio, it's far, but it's not like coming from Europe.
That's a
Yeah.
great point.
Yeah.
It's a great point, and I've always said that when they used to have the qualifier for the World Equestrian Games, when they had it in New Jersey,
New Jersey.
I was okay. Well, that's a big enough deal. We're driving to New Jersey. It's not a
Yeah.
big deal. We're going to go out there. I mean, Craig Schmersel shipped his horses. He was living in California at that point. If it's a big enough deal to you, you're going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, if it will go any bigger than it is now, it's not going to be possible to do it in one day. Because that's the only thing that I thought was maybe for the judges, it's kind of not possible to be that well, and they did a good job, but I don't think you can add 20 or 30 more horses because
Right.
then it would
Well, that's
not
a
be
good
possible.
idea. Maybe they should have more qualifiers and pick less from each qualifier.
Yeah.
So everybody has more opportunity, but they make sure and get the 5 best runs that day. Because I still think they should keep the Run for the Million show limited in numbers.
Yeah.
There don't need to be 35 in
No.
that
No,
whole show.
I don't
No.
think so. Neither, no.
Well, the only thing, if anything, in my opinion, a horse show like this year, the numbers will be less next year.
Yeah,
Because, you know, if you don't have one, okay, it took,
Last year it took a 23
Yeah.
to make it, and you're telling yourself, okay, I can half everything, maybe
Yeah.
sneak a 1 somewhere, and you're good.
yeah,
This year it took a 26 and a half. You're like,
yeah,
I ain't sniffed that score in 10 years. What
Yeah.
am I thinking? How am I going to do that?
and a lot of
Yeah,
those people
so,
never.
Yeah.
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 And unless you just want to enter it as a novelty,
Right.
which
Yeah.
some people are always going to do, it doesn't make sense to enter it. But, and I would say that of those 45, where 22 was 45th, some of those 22s and 23s was as high as
As
those
it could
horses
go.
are going to mark,
Mark.
Yeah.
which is still a really good score. But I think it's going to go back to where the problem we ran into 20 years ago in our open classes here, when they shrunk down to, you know, 5 or 6 horses in a $10,000 headed open, because if you couldn't mark
Yeah.
75, you weren't going to win a check back in the days when BH and Tim and all those guys were showing, and you had to be. I'm a little bit thinking that, and I don't think this is a bad thing for that horse show. Wouldn't be bad if that horse show dropped down to 75 entries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
You know?
I like the idea of just going one spot, one chance, all in, and at the end of the day, you know what the outcome is. I
Yeah.
like that.
And at the end of the day, they did better. You know, that show hasn't always had great footing. It hasn't always had a great schedule. This year the schedule was good. This year the ground was good.
Yeah.
Jesse was taking care of the ground, and you know, I think it was a fair situation for everybody to get ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't hate that show this year. Last year, I hated that horse
Well,
show.
Like last 2 years, right? Wasn't the year before
Yeah,
tough too?
last 2 years were tough, and
Yeah.
I mean, but this year it was relatively easy to get ready.
Yeah,
You schooled at what, 3 in the morning?
Yeah. And there was 4 or 5 people. In
Yeah,
From
super easy.
3 a.m. to
Yeah,
5 a.m.
that's
It's great.
nice. Yeah, I remember last year was always full,
Yeah.
so very hard.
Yeah. Well, and like you're saying, 100 and some odd horses a day judging, sitting there, that quality horse.
Yeah,
That's a long day.
That's tough. Yeah.
So where's it going to go from there? So usually, let's say at the NRBC, it takes 219 to make the finals. Now there's 45 horses that mark to 22 or higher. At what's it going to take at the NRBC or our aged events now? Now, I don't know what you guys think. Yeah, I think they were on a little bit higher scale than normal, for sure. But it doesn't matter. There was a lot of really, really, really good runs at that horse show. And there was probably maybe 10 horses in that group of 45 that are not any more age eligible for the NRBC. But still, I mean, does that mean it's going to take a 22 to make the finals of the NRBC? What do you think?
I don't know.
They're supposed to be on that scale. That's the
You
scale.
think? I thought they were a bit high, like not. They were fair, but I think with a different set of judges, it could drop like maybe 1 point.
But those judges are being taught now to use more of the scale, not just be minus half, 0 plus
yeah,
half. So
which is good. I
there's-
like that.
You saw,
Positive thinking.
I mean, you saw several horses with 5 or more plus 1 maneuvers. Several. of them.
Yeah.
So, they're gonna try to keep that scale. I don't think the judging is gonna change. I think maybe it's a little different, but
But maybe also everybody really got ready for the cactus. It's the beginning of the season, so the horses are all fresh. They've all been schooled all spring or winter. and now the show season starts, I think that's also gonna affect the scores.
Yeah.
That's something to think about too, because usually it's harder to make the finals at the NRBC than the Derby. Usually
Yeah.
it scores a little higher.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because the arena's bigger and easier to score points in, or
Oh, I think it's because the Derby is the third one down the
Down
the line.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And it's
And I-
hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
The
NRBC
weather
is
was
bigger.
also perfect at the. I remember last year was so hot. The day we had the show, it was not hot the whole time, and then we had the show last year, and it was like
That probably
Crazy
won't be the
warm.
case this year. Moving it to Tulsa, the temperature's
Yes.
probably going to be, because Katy can be humid, very
Yeah,
humid
yeah.
and hot. So probably that won't be the case this year, but I think just being the next horse show, and I think there's certain, I think some trainers are better at managing their horses than others. So I think some guys are going to go home and give their horses that they showed there 10 days or 2 weeks off, and then
yeah,
just ramp them up for the NRBC that the week they get there. And some guys are going to go home and ride them on Tuesday.
yeah,
They're going to give them Monday off and ride them on Tuesday. And I think, that's a lot.
Are you showing anything at the NRBC?
I'm gonna take 2 horses to the challenge.
Cool.
To,
Older ones.
older ones
Yeah,
to see
great.
if they might be something for the Run for the Million.
Okay. Then what's the plans for the rest of the year? I know you just got settled in here, but do you have any 3-year-olds yet even that you're excited about, or anything for the Derby? I mean, I know it's kind of been a whirlwind, but
Yeah, it's still a little bit unclear everything, but I have some nice 2-year-olds. I
Good.
have some 3-year-olds, and I just need to find a horse for the Run for the Million and school them. And I think that's my goal for this year, taking care of my little Archie, and then don't go to too many derbies. Just make sure that I find a horse for the Run for the Million and school, and then
and do a good job on your 2-year-olds.
yeah.
Okay, you can look into the camera and say, I really need a horse for the Run for a Million.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think.
Anybody.
I don't.
Yeah,
That's
if anyone's got an
spare horse.
extra,
I don't think.
extra
Call me.
horse.
I don't think you need to do that. I think it
Doesn't hurt. Doesn't
Yeah,
hurt.
put it out
Doesn't
there.
hurt.
Field of dreams. If
Yeah.
you build it, they will come. They will come.
Yeah.
Yeah. And last year's, it is going to be, it's always going to be a great horse, but it's funny how that Run for a Million went, because the first year was very good. The second year was not as good.
Yeah.
And last year was
Awesome.
stupid good.
Good.
I
Yeah.
mean, like, there was so many good horses.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
And possibly one of the best runs we've ever seen in our lives.
Yeah.
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 Patriot was unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
without
it
a
was.
doubt. And, Patriot won't, he
You didn't
went to the
qualify.
qualifier and didn't qualify.
Doesn't mean he won't be there.
Yeah, he had some penalties on the turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
But-
sucks.
But it's hard to, no horse is going to go mark a 235. What did he mark it last
Yeah.
year?
35.
It's crazy,
You
but
know.
it was just perfect. Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything was perfect. That
Yeah.
horse was as good. We had Nathan on the show, and he just said, from the first day he rode him there,
Yeah.
he just was in the groove.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes it works that way. And the year before, it was just it was just tricky. It just wasn't. And I was there the year before. I mean, I was there the first 2 years, and the first year was very, very good, and the second year was just not as good. And sometimes it goes like that. And I think even with this year at the qualifier, we've all been there where some nights or some days everybody's good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just, I don't know what it is. It's just in the air and everybody's good. And then,
I have the feeling that when the final starts and the first people that go in mess up, it
Starts messing
Yeah.
everybody
it's
out.
messing everyone. And if you have the first people that go in and they really do it and it goes well, and then everybody's like, oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Everybody
sets the
gets-
tone.
That sets the tone. I really think that's a thing.
I think it
Yeah.
almost takes pressure off if the first couple go
It
in there
is,
and mark
yeah.
big scores. Because then
Yeah.
you're like, well, screw it, I just
Gotta
gotta
go.
throw it out there.
Yeah.
It has to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
it works
it's
whenever
true.
you're not a little defensive.
Yeah. It's almost worse when you got to walk into the futurity in the second go and mark a 17, and you're like, oh, just don't screw anything up. And
Yeah.
it's almost more pressure to do that.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, you know what you got to do.
Yeah. And that was just one of those reining where, I mean, we went to Scottsdale thinking probably 23 is going to be good. Kate and I were talking about it the night before, and I was telling Kate, okay, I've been to a million of these things where, okay, best horses ever, best riders ever. At the end of the day, it's still the same.
Yeah.
Wasn't the same this year. I mean, it was I don't think
crazy.
anybody would have predicted a 26 and a half.
No.
And granted, they were marking a little bit of a high scale, but still, it would have been, on a tighter scale, would have been 24 and a half,
Yeah.
which is still
Still high.
Still
high.
Yeah.
Still very good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure.
No, and Gina's horse was unbelievable good.
I didn't see it, but I heard it.
Like freaky good.
Yeah.
Freaky good.
That horse likes that. That's a
Just-
horse. He's never won a non-pro major event.
That's
Really?
to be an
Yeah.
open horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
It's non pro.
he's- yeah.
And when she showed him at the Run for the Million, the one year she qualified, she got hosed on that score. She was good. And they didn't use her.
I didn't see
But
it.
they will this time.
Well, it's hard not to because she won the qualifier.
Yeah.
Mm.
It wasn't just a fluke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she outturned everybody, I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
Well, she's gonna outturn everybody. I mean,
Well, she went right
mark
after
it
me.
down right now. She's gonna outturn everybody at that horse show.
Yeah.
I'll bet you $1,000 on it.
She went right after me, so when I looked at my judges' scores, hers were right there. And she 1.5 on, like, I think 3 of the 5 judges, she 1.5 both turns.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What'd
Yeah.
you do in yours?
Half and a 1.
Okay, hey, that's good. That's good.
But it's not a, but it's,
Better than what I did.
but a 1.5 is a slap. Don't be hard on yourself, Gunny. You went out there and you have a nice horse and you showed good. You're in the top 100.
That's right.
Don't be hard on yourself. Top 100's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, top 100.
you were talking about how good the atmosphere is here. Well,
Yeah.
not in this house, okay? It's nothing but throwing stones at people.
You did. You shook your head after that first turn. You were.
You
I
can't give
untangled
that.
my reins and threw.
Yeah,
I was like,
it was-
dude, the hell with this. If I should walk out right now.
But why? What happened in your turn?
I just
Oh,
suck
it
at
didn't. It didn't quite turn. I mean, it turned. She turned, but just didn't.
If there was a barrel in the middle, I wouldn't have touched that barrel. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
But
It
you
was a little
can't.
rough.
You can't do this. You
No.
just
Yeah.
gotta
You
go.
should
Yeah.
never give
I did
up.
that. I did
Whatever
that
happens,
once.
think forward.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Don't tell the judges because you're assuming that
Yeah,
they
because
know
they wouldn't
exactly
have known
what you know.
what was going on. If you didn't shake your head, they probably went, he's okay with that turn. Maybe we'll plus half
You
it.
guys are morons.
I didn't see it.
They knew.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So
Poker
No,
face.
it was bad.
Don't
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
I
no.
didn't see it.
We'll
I
quit
wanted to
picking
watch
on
it,
you.
but I was getting mine ready.
Yeah. No, I
Did you know that I tried to get out of doing the show tonight? This is why. Because I sit in the freaking corner all the time and get ridiculed for being too this or too that or this or that.
But I set aside time to watch you guys. I'm, oh, Gunny's coming up. There's one more. What? Dude, I can't get that time back. Like, I was like, oh crap.
He's being especially hard on you tonight.
Okay? I am going to remember this, and whenever he has a terrible run, it's coming.
Oh yeah, I'll be
Mark
ready.
my words.
I'll be
If he has
ready.
a terrible run, we're going to have a new segment called Let's Watch Joe Schmidt. Huh? What were you thinking at this moment
shit.
right here? Why did you do that?
But
Yeah.
it's
Just joking.
actually also one of the things that I liked. I remember one time when we were down in Florida and Bill was sitting there with Brian Bell and his dad, and they were like, did you remember the time we were at the horse show where they didn't have the gate and I said, whoa, and my horses went all over the place? Or when BH said whoa one time in Ardmore and they didn't close it and he ended up all the way in the warm-up arena. Well, that's everybody has stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
no,
you
for
don't
sure.
Those
have
are-
to just
we've
laugh
done
about
that,
it.
yes.
Those times
All
are
been there,
fun,
done
but
that.
it's a little too soon.
Sorry, dude.
Too soon.
Yeah, and you're going to the horse show tonight.
Right now, trying to figure out how to do
How
it
to do
better.
it? Yeah.
And
No, for sure.
And then to be totally on, he did try to get out of it, and then I said, "But Sarah's on tonight," and he goes, "Oh, I'm going to that one."
Yeah.
He never wanted to get. He wanted to get out until
That's
he found
nice.
out you were
Who it
coming.
was. Yeah.
If you were Todd Summers right now, somebody else had been sitting here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cade would have had to been down there co-hosting, which isn't fair because we really like Todd Summers.
Yeah, for sure.
I
I
don't
love
know.
Todd. He's one of my favorite people, but Kate would have been. I never met Sarah before. I mean, I knew who you were, but I never met you before. It's nice to meet you, by the way.
But no, you're right. It's all that stuff that we go
Yeah.
through that, you know,
It
they're good
happens to
stories. And,
everybody.
yeah, everybody, it happens
But
to
maybe
everybody.
it's too soon.
Yeah. No, I shook my head one time like that, dude. Ran in, blew the stop, and oh, I'm so dumb. You know?
We've
Yeah.
all done it.
Oh man. But yeah, you're not supposed to. Shoot, you can't shake your head.
I mean, believe me, I have walked out there and turned both ways, and I'm sitting there thinking, do I just walk out? Do I have to
Yeah,
go
you're
through
done.
the rest of this shit? I turned a 0 with a 1-point penalty, and now I just want to leave.
Yeah.
And we've all done it. There's not one of us.
Yeah.
I mean, out of the rookies and the limited non-pros, they think we haven't done it. We've all
Yeah.
done it. We've all been there.
Well, and unlike you three, I'm probably going to continue to do it.
No, it's always good.
Yeah.
That's also not true.
I don't know.
It just happens.
Unless I do become a professional bowler. I thought about it for a minute. I was going to go bowling, but my forearm isn't quite stout enough to hold a bowling ball. I can really... So I gave up
Yeah.
on that dream.
You're not a bad bowler. I have bowled with you, and you put the spin on it and everything.
2 dreams crushed in the same week, though.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, but that, like I said, I don't know why you chose bowling. Like you never really bowl, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
think it would-
bold.
I think it would be something that would be kind of easy to get into. Like,
Yeah.
all you got to do is throw this ball and knock them pins down.
Yeah. No, I think it's so easy.
I
yeah.
think it
It
is.
seems like it should be easy.
Seems like it should
Yeah.
be easy. It's not like golf or Major League Baseball or, you know, my time has passed on baseball, football, but I never had a time for basketball, but I thought, you know what, bowling,
Bowling.
or something.
Well, I liked all the kingpin memes that everybody posted.
Yeah,
That's a
You
good.
should try
Have you seen
darts.
it?
That's really.
I'm good at darts. Did
The-
Tom
in
ever
the-
tell you about the time I smoked him out of $100 playing darts? He thought he was good. Huh? Double or nothing. Remember that?
I don't remember.
Of course, he doesn't remember the times he loses.
I block out. I block out when I lose. That's why I'm still here.
Yeah. Kick that negativity.
Yeah.
You don't want to have that negativity. in
Are
there.
you a good dart player? What's your thing other than the horses?
Not much actually.
Horses.
Yeah, I have not really other hobbies.
Really?
I tried to paint in COVID times, but yeah.
You should
no,
talk to Joe. He's a painter.
I didn't stick. As soon as COVID was over, I was like.
Right back.
How do you just like? What makes you just decide about painting?
Well, actually, it's paint by numbers.
Oh,
So you have to. Yeah, it's really like time assuming stupid.
Have you ever seen Bob Ross?
No.
Oh, you're in for
Pretty-
a special treat.
Pretty little accidents.
I'm
right,
going to
wasn't
send
it?
you some
Happy
Bob
little
Ross
accident.
videos tonight if you like painting.
Yeah, happy little trees.
But
She's
I like
done
also
painting.
to look at it on Instagram or something
Oh, yeah.
to see how it's amazing how they do that.
If you like watching people paint on video,
Yeah, I do.
I'm going to send you a
Unfortunately.
message when we get done here. Bob Ross, you will be hooked. It's going to change your life. It's mesmerizing.
Okay.
Mesmerizing.
Okay.
there wasn't enough COVID for me to take up
Yeah.
painting.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
what you
COVID
are.
had to be.
But you're not like creative though when it comes to anything other than the horse deal. Like you're not, right? You're not creative kind of
I'm pretty.
artsy person.
No, not artsy.
Yeah.
But I'm creative.
I mean creative. I mean,
I
say
mean-
like creative art. I'm not trying to cut
I'm
you
married
down.
about 3 numbers up. I'm creative at some stuff.
Yeah, but he recently got...
Hey,
A 10! A 10! A fucking 10!
Yeah, you better keep going. Yeah, you just go with your weapon.
A 10!
10?
A 10!
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Andy's getting a text message.
Oh, man, yeah, that's
He's
quick.
getting a message to fast forward to minute 55 of the Sierra Beck episode. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Tom called you.
A 10. A 10.
5 per second. I'm a 5, so you can cut all that out. I'm a 5 and I'm married at 9 and a half.
Oh, shit. Yeah, yeah,
Edit that.
yeah.
We
But
usually-
yeah,
we usually don't edit our stuff. So
Yeah.
like when I
We
say the
try
F
not to.
word and they call me stupid, people see it.
yeah, we leave
I
it
like
in.
to watch your shows. I watch them.
Well, thank you.
Good.
It's fun.
We have people all the time that say "grow the show" to me.
Yeah, at the horse shows. It's incredible how many people walk up to us and say, hey, love it, watch
Yeah,
the show.
it's nice.
Walking out of the barn one night in Tulsa, it was midnight. Walking out of the barn, and somebody who's in the wash rack just said, "Hey,
Grow the show.
grow the show."
Nice. Love
That's
it.
good.
This was a good one, because I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right.
Good
Well,
luck here.
Sarah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome
Thanks
to
for coming.
America.
Yeah,
That's great.
thank you.
You're going to love it.
I'm sure.
And
Except for the food. But Chelsea's food?
Chelsea's food's
Chelsea's food's
great.
good,
You'll
yeah.
love that.
You'll like that.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
That's it.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks, Sarah.